Okay, well, anyway, thank you everybody for coming to the meeting. As I said, the one of the reasons we don't have quite as many people was I screwed up. So this is fourth Saturday as opposed to our usual third, and and just to cover bases, we'll be doing our uh, show and tell, and forgive me that I'll be repeating this. I considering everybody is regulars, I don't think I should need to show the usual copy. But as everybody knows, we have the if anybody has something for our Best of the Northwest entry. If anybody has anything they want to show for the Best of the Northwest entry, it goes on to the link to the Facebook thread that I just put the link onto. All the details are there. Regrettably, it's easier than doing a page. And anybody, and let's see, any old for old business, we will, with any luck, we will have Juanel at the set up for when everything is correct for next month. And it'll be back to third Thursday. And as I said, I apologize. This is all on me. Okay. And but otherwise, does anybody have any new business? Okay, then. Well, anyway, sorry that I repeat myself. Welcome to this month. We are doing our semi-annual show and tell for anybody who has stuff or projects or interesting techniques they want to show off. I will be putting the screen. I will be putting essentially. I will give us access to the screen share in a second. And if anybody wants to go first, let me just, allow. Okay.
I've got just one little thing to share. That's it would be quick. That'd be quick.
Okay, cool. The screen share is all unlocked, so you
okay, I'll just do this. You saw me drawing these things when I was showing you how I got my iPad back, so I was able to draw. And I discovered that the system very quickly allowed me to do transparency, so no problems there. I had showed people this originally, not something I was really wild about. It's just a quick sketch. And then this, which again was a quick sketch, quick color. And then completely, these are for the podcast, and then completely redid the whole thing right on the iPad and sent it to myself. And so this became the final artwork.
Okay.
Vlad Tepes in front of all the bodies. And all you see of the Turkish army is somebody dropped their flag.
Yeah.
And a lot of dust as they ran away.
Okay, all we can see is the thumbnail there, Donna.
You can't see the actual. I wonder why. Let me see. You cannot see the. You can't see the final art.
No.
That's odd. Oh, I know why. Let me try the. Let me try this method here, and do this correctly. Can you see it now? Let me see. Let me do a stop share and very quickly do this again to make sure this is all working correctly. I'll just do this. Do screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, now we can see it. Thank you.
Now you can see it. And this is, like I say, this is the final piece. Here's the first sketch on the iPad. I hadn't done it a long time. It was more or less just trying to lay out an idea. And then I was fiddling around with a top layer rather than trying to work it up from the back, because I had not set it for transparency. So I forgot that on my iPad, you could just very quickly snap it into transparency and no problem. And then I just gave up that idea completely. And it's what I always do, which is to come up with something new. And as I said, this is Vlad Tepe's eating, as he's said to have done in front of the bodies impaled on the spears. And the only thing left of the Turkish army is a flag that they dropped as they're running away. So I like that design better. It's a little bit more graphic. So that's for the podcast, and I will be sharing that odd historical. Something that I realized historically that I'm going, why didn't we all know this? Just an odd little thing about it.
Because the Germans wrote the history books.
No, it just when I get it, when I tell it to you, I even wrote Mary Roach. I don't know if anybody knows that writer. She's wonderfully funny. She's a science writer. She writes. It's like her book about death and burial and etc. The title is called Stiff. She's hilarious. But if you've ever seen her work, she readily responds to Twitter messages. She's quite funny. So I told her she'd be the first to find this out. It's just a little historical thing that it's not about somebody else writing the history. It's about if it did happen, this would be why. And it's so oddly obvious. So it'll be funny when you see it. Anyway, that's the drawing of, supposedly he's eating in front of the spears there. So, but I'm keeping it to myself until I podcast, but that's, next Wednesday, because I'm putting everything out on Wednesday for everybody, because I'm going to SquatchCon and I will be too busy and I can't guarantee my access. So everybody gets it Wednesday, patrons and public.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Donna. Who's up next?
Well, alphabetically, me.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. You got
Hello?
something great.
So, shoot. How do I share content? Share screen. That's nice.
Pull down on the bottom, and it's the green arrow button in the middle.
I think. Okay. So now, let me try going to photos. Camera. Here it is. So this is a splash page or like an intro page for this vortex proposal.
Okay. Let's see.
So, and I told you on a previous show,
and just to say
what it's about.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, David, but we're still just seeing you right now.
Oh, heck. Well, that's funny because on my screen, I'm seeing the full page.
Is that
so I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Was anything to do with that mirror site you were talking about?
Hang on. So maybe I'll go to photos. All right. So how about that? You're not stuck.
No, but I think I see. I mean, I can see the monitor reflected against your window, but that's not quite the same thing.
So you're just seeing me.
Yeah.
All right. So
you did hit the green button down below, right? Where it says share screen.
Well, I've got share content. So where's the share screen button?
It's right on. You pull your. If you pull the cursor down, you'll see participants chat, share screen. Actually, most of these controls are for me. I'm the only one who can see them.
I mean, the only thing I've got is share content. I know I've been able to do this before.
Is it share
Um,
content in Zoom or is it share content in
Zoom.
another program? In Zoom.
Yeah, in Zoom.
What are you using? What's your device?
I'm using an iPad.
Okay, that can be a problem sometimes.
Okay. Maybe screen broadcast? Oh wait, it's not available when screen mirroring is active. So let me try. I don't know why that is. Let me try stopping screen mirroring. Stop mirroring. Now I will go back. Okay. Start broadcast. And now
That got it. Good.
sharing
There
screen.
you got it.
All right. So now that's the thing I'm trying to show you. Can you see it?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, that's nice. That reminds me of Howard Cruise's Detail.
I'm trying to evoke the underground style. It's this is a story set in 1970.
Yeah.
So my way of evoking it is doing an underground style with a lot of cross hatching,
Right.
but also using typeset rectangular balloons like Mad Magazine. So here's another one. And so
That's beautiful.
well, let's hope it sells. If it does, that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 years or so.
Beautiful.
Yes. And my contacts are kind of attenuated. But one stop maybe Fantagraphics. How are your relations with Fantagraphics going these days?
Well, I think they would look at that. That
Let's
really
hope.
does seem like, I'm not saying, but it just seems like that'd be up their alley.
Yeah. No.
One would hope. I mean, it's very okay boomer, but there's still a lot of old boomers out there.
No, I mean, that's
Well,
wonderfully clean. And I think this is the most, I mean, admittedly, I'm only familiar with your perspective books and the David Chelsea and in Love, but I don't think I've seen you do this kind of shading in your other stuff.
No, I'm trying. Who am I trying to? I mean, it winds up looking a lot like Nina Bunjevic, but actually, the guy that I was looking at most before I did this art is Dave Sheridan, and I think he's underrated. I think he's not gotten near the respect he deserves, because he died young, so he hasn't been around to beat his own drum.
I don't think you'd have any problem with audiences today. I think they would like this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of webs comics people. There's Matt Howarth's fans continue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it looks like his work. I'm saying kind of like the attitude, the layout, things like that, the feeling of space. Not that I'm saying you're taking your style from his. I'm just saying that is the audience that might appreciate it.
Yeah, well, from your mouth to God's ears. I don't want to put it up as a Patreon. I don't want to be the guy, with a garage full of vanity pressings.
Right.
Can I make a suggestion about this?
Wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, really.
But here's another option. A lot of people are kickstarting to get those many books. On the other, which give you years of sales. It shows this is true, but there is also the possibility of, because the customers drive it is print on demand, and you use the money in Kickstarter for marketing. Because a lot of people don't understand with print on demand is you don't have a print run. It's permanent. And you can, and who actually pays for and buys the books, who buys the printing, are the customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they just need to know where it is and how to do it. And so many people are used to buying online now. And yes, there's bookstores are wonderful, but many people don't go out anymore. Many people are buying online. And a print run is expensive. Print on demand takes, well, nothing out of your pocket. But on the other hand, you're going to need advertising money because you still need ads, you still need to promote. And that's just a suggestion. Kickstarter for advertising, for marketing.
Yeah. Always remember with Kickstarter that part of is itemize everything when you make your goals. And there's a lot of people who hurt themselves by coming up with a ballpark figure and forget that that ballpark figure they had should have included stuff like shipping.
But remember, with print on demand, you're not paying for the shipping.
Right.
That's again, it's not something you pay for unless you want $10 books to go to a show with. You're not actually covering those costs.
Another thing, David, I'll find the link in a minute or so, but every Sunday, Graphic Artists Guild has something called a networking group called Freelance Fandango. And we have about 2 regulars who are, for all practical purposes, professional Kickstarters. And they can definitely give you some very good advice on that.
Yeah.
You're sounding like it's a foregone conclusion that I'm not getting a publisher.
No, we're just telling you that there's so many options now.
Yes.
I mean, we hope you do, but it's nothing that puts a wall up against you. You know, so that way, you know, if you don't run into a publisher right away, don't junk the project. Keep going, because the other thing about print on demand is you have books in hand and you can show sales, at which point there's people who put their books up print on demand and they get the publisher because they're successful. Well, the whole thing about nothing succeeds like success.
Yeah. But between
I guess this could be serialized, but it's, you know, as I've got it mapped out now, it's like, you know, 125 page, you know, self-contained book. So I know the beginning, the middle, and the end. So I'm not looking as a series, but I don't know if that makes a difference. But it's you know, I know lots of people do books and they serialize them first.
Well, it's traditional. Dickens did it.
So did Tupac.
Well, I mean, that's the problem that we've got with so many people thinking they have to turn these books out so fast. Is because Dickens was turning them out, and he was turning them out in prose. He was not transcribing them. He was using court shorthand. They were being transcribed, and so his schedule became the set schedule. And scribbling court shorthand is nothing like trying to draw a comics page, which is, we've got these idea that you can turn them out so quickly. He goes back that far.
Yeah. No, as I said, I really like this page. A technical question: the speckling effect you have on the skin, is that literally just you doing individual dots with a pen with gray ink, or was there something simpler to it?
No, that's stipple. This is all black and white, and I'm not using any gray tones at all.
Yeah, this is hand stippling. That's one of the reasons I mentioned that it reminds me of Howard Cruz. I'm not saying you're trying to look like Howard Cruz or anything, it just reminds it.
He
did a lot of that
too. Yeah, he used it. So did Sheridan. Actually, all of maybe not Crumb, but you see a lot of stippling in Rick Griffin. You know,
and I think there's always a stage we go through. I mean, especially when you're everybody goes through stippling. And some people stay with it and some people leave it behind, and it's just this wonderful shading method. And this, you've done a really nice job. That looks
Yeah.
very fleshy.
Yes, it's time consuming, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth it for the effect.
Oh, it is. It looks beautiful.
Mhm. So that's about all I have to show. We can move on.
Okay,
Gorgeous.
that's awesome, David.
Go to. That's fun. I'm going to stop share.
Okay. Well, if we're still doing alphabetical order, it's not, I believe it's you're up, Roger. And if you could say something that would activate the screen, the gallery page, Roger.
Yeah, okay. Hello, testing.
You're good.
Okay, this is from the movie Heavy Metal, the Harry Canyon section, where he's in the bathroom and then in bed. Got these off eBay the other day. Could have got the Tarna drawn. They were too expensive.
And Larry Cannon is the cab driver sequence.
Yeah, Harry Canyon.
Harry Canyon, okay.
That's all for me.
Oh, really? Okay, so great. So Roberta, it looks like you're up.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm just on my phone. So here's a little drawing I'm doing. It's a little drawing. It's some guy named Mark Osler who has like this small press comic that he's like sort of getting people to do illustrations for. I mean, it's kind of hard to follow this story, but paying me to do a drawing
Yeah,
of this.
it's not actually shown, it's actually right off camp. That's better. Yes.
There we go.
Great.
Yeah. Like, well, he kind of says he has this character that he doesn't really describe. And like in the second book, it's like, well, she doesn't really look that much like the way, but he seems to be my art. It's like have her standing in a doorway, and then he kind of adds all this other stuff later. So it's, I mean, but like I say, it's getting me to do something. It's a little extra money, and it's like, what the hell, I'll have my art show up somewhere. So I got it done in the next couple of days. So yeah, like I say, it's just a little drawing I'm working on. And also I'm putting the Fantagraphics finally wants to do like a big bitchy book, so I've been going through my issues of Naughty Bits, because like there's actually a storyline that runs through the whole. I mean, there's these little like 3-part stories where a bitchy goes on vacation or goes to college or something. But like if you look at all the comics, I mean, there's these little storylines that start and end, and then there's little random stories, and then little pairs of stories that ran in 2 issues. And there's actually themes that kind of run through them. So I've got 500 pages to sort of try to figure out how to put together I mean, I can't use all the stories, so I want to do, like I say, do the sort of narrative, because like there was a story where Kenny, the guy that she was trying to avoid on vacation, who, like he ends up showing up later in this story that has her friend Barb from work and from high school. And then actually towards the end of the series, there is another 2-part story where Kenny has, he's now successful and he has this gallery show and everything. And he was using these like pictures he'd taken of Bitchy without her permission. So that gets kind of messy. And Barb and her girlfriend are like in that one too. So I'm trying to sort of figure out how to, and that's kind of like I was talking to Eric, and that's kind of what they want to do too. So I'm sort of doing that while I'm working on other things. So anyway, that's my comics related news.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna. I mean, I've kind of, it's kind of on hold right now. But oh, the Tits and Clits book that came out with stories from like Nanny Goat Production, or I guess that's coming out like at the end of the month.
Nice.
Well, it actually it is the end of the month. Well, I mean, I got a copy early, so not sure, when it's actually officially out. There's like a World War III magazine. I've got like a bitchy story, and I did a 2-page story for that, and I put it on my Facebook page, and it turns out that's not coming out till May. I just kind of put this link up. So I think everything takes. I mean, everything in life takes longer than we sort of think, and that's the same thing with publishing. So stuff
Mhm.
gets done when it gets done. So I'm just sort of like pushing little objects ahead of me through along a football field. Some are going some are getting ahead, some are kind of falling behind. Got to come back and push those. So that's kind of been the way things have been. So, but this little drawings, I can scan this pretty soon and send it off and be done with it. So that'll be one thing off the.
Spoiled the last couple of years just putting comics up on Patreon because they go up like the minute you post them. You don't have to sit around and wait for for some book to come out.
Mhm.
I mean, I've actually got a Patreon. I haven't looked at it in like a couple of years because I'm having trouble logging into it. And then like some people gave, paying me. I never collected any of the money. I mean, because there's something with taxes I didn't want to deal with, So, I mean, eventually I want to like visit somebody that's good at Patreon, and hopefully when I have a new, because my iPad, which was the only thing I could connect with, it is dying, so I've got to get a new. I'd like to get a new iPad one of these days if I have any money left after all these other expensive lawyery things I'm doing, But
Well, I've run Patreon for years and gotten a steady income out of that. And it's a matter of setting your settings correctly, and Patreon takes care of the taxes.
oh yeah, I think there's something. Well, like I said, one of these days, I mean, I will invite you over, or I'll come visit you and bring my new iPad whenever I get one, and I'll figure out.
Let's get your Patreon working, because that's a steady income stream.
I've got tons of story. I mean, tons and tons and tons of stories. I don't know when they're ever going to ever get published. I mean, I'm finding things I forgot I did. So that'd be
Well,
so.
get
Once
You
done
could
with.
post all that stuff.
Oh, I know. Well, I know. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm just like I say, I'm just swamped right now dealing with like dead people stuff. I mean, I finally got the paperwork saying I'm, like in charge of my sister's affairs. So I finally got to get back down. I'm trying to get her mail forwarded to me because there's a whole bunch of tax stuff I need, information I need to know to send to this lawyer, and it's all just being held by the post office in Santa Barbara. So hopefully that'll come soon. Then I'm trying to figure out how to deal with these taxes with me and Bruce. I mean, because like we bought property, I got these statements from, I think it was the title company, saying we made all of this money. I'm going, no, we didn't make all that money because there was a mortgage. I mean, we did not get $600,000 like from the sale. We got far from that. So I've got to figure out how to do that. So I've got the paperwork somewhere. So I've got to, I'm taking a little break this weekend, but Monday I've got to go through more paperwork and figure out where Bruce put all this stuff. So anyway, that's so I guess
that's rough.
then I can go back to being creative. Yep. It's getting done. I mean, like I say, I thought I'd never get that paperwork from Santa Barbara from the lawyer, and I finally did. So now I can. They're very very nice here at the post office in La Conner. I mean, they were, they actually got called the Santa Barbara post office and talked. I could not get through to them. Nobody can get through to these post offices, and like this one person managed to do it. So she told them to not send my sister's mail back. Just hang on to it until this paperwork is going to come, and it finally did. So good. Things get done. So I am being optimistic and saying things will get done, but I do need help. And thank you all you people that are offering. I mean, some people keep offering right and left, and I keep losing their names and stuff. But like I say, once I'm once I'm able to focus on, or get rid of some of these things I'm trying to get done, I can go on to more things like Patreon. I would love to have a thriving Patreon. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll get together. If you need things scanned, I've got a good scanner. We'll get it all up
Oh.
onto Patreon, and if we have to, you can just count on me to feed the darn thing and keep you apprised, because it's just a matter of settings.
Yeah,
Oh, I've got a scanner. I think it still talks to my ancient little laptop. I mean, I don't think the printer works anymore, but I mean the scanner does, so for now.
Just
and
remember, I'm the scanner from hell, and
Good.
I'm offering.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
and
I just want-
Roberta, this is extremely personal stuff, so I assume you'll want me to clip it from the recording.
Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, geez,
Okay.
yeah. I'm very open about,
Just
Oh.
wanted to make absolutely sure before
Oh,
I
who
hear
isn't a
anything.
person that deals with crazy taxes? I mean,
Okay.
isn't happy when tax season's finally over. It's very ironic because my sister, she was like obsessively private about everything. And of course, I'm going through everything, finding the skeletons in her closet and all of everything she was keeping from everybody else. So, that's life. I mean, one of these days, people are going to be going through my shit going, holy cow. Oh my God.
Nobody's private when they're dead.
Mhm.
Nope. Yep.
We should have parties like that. Open this stuff up and be horrified.
We'll have to do. We'll have to have I've got so much stuff of Bruce's. I mean, it's like I've got smutty stuff that I think belonged to his father. I mean, it's like these old sort of tacky little sexy cartoons from the 50s, and I'm going, wait a minute, Bruce was I bet his dad it's like a box of all this like sort of raunchy stuff from there's like of college newspapers from UW in the 60s, the Seagull, that it's like, this stuff
Oh my
would
God.
today. It's like so effing sexist, I mean, it's still hilarious, but it's like, okay, that's, just the way people thought. There's like, we've got like, I found National Lampoons from 1970. Boy, those things would never, children's letters to the Gestapo. I mean, this stuff.
There's a service in England now
What?
that for a fee will get rid of or file or destroy all your dead relatives' porn.
Oh gosh. Oh, this is good.
Oh yeah, like in that BBC show Coupling, where they have a porn buddy system.
Yeah, right. Yep. Mhm.
We've all got a box of those things.
What do I do with this? You better decide.
I'm just expecting that when I'm gone and whoever opens this footlocker, they will be screaming.
Yep.
I'm going to be standing there as a wraith, laughing my butt off.
Right. Didn't expect that, did you? Didn't see that coming.
Oh boy. Well, with me, maybe not such a surprise.
Yep. Right.
I'm the person who drew the strap-on book, remember?
Yeah.
So not so shocking. Sounds like you've got more wonderful things that you've been finding.
Oh gosh. Yeah, geez. I don't know what to do with it, but I mean, and then there's all my stuff. Jeez. Yeah. Oh well. Slowly but surely. Hopefully I can recruit some people at NorwestCon to help me go through Bruce's stuff.
A lot of the sci-fi people will probably be able to help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, I'm more than happy to help on the Seattle end, Roberta.
Cool. I'm definitely gonna need, Oh, I've got another person that wants to rent that room finally, so at least I'll have a little income from that while I'm deciding what I want to do with the
Okay. Yeah, you
Well,
have my contact information. Let me know, and I'll be at NorwestCon. We're bound to run into each other. You can fill me in then.
having a room party Friday night at whatever the hell hotel room I have at the DoubleTree. So that's
Ooh,
I'll put flyers up.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy a pass to NorwestCon, but if I can get down for the party, I'll go to
Yeah.
that one.
Okay, oh boy, that's going to be tricky. I have a friend. It's sort of like I don't know how much I'm going to be doing Friday because I have a friend's birthday party at Northwest at
I'll be
Northgate.
there all weekend. I'm getting. Oh, I mean, I could afford it back now. I can't really afford it, but it's like it's NorwestCon. You know, I've got a hotel room for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, so I'll be there. Yeah,
Okay, cool,
There you go.
Be there. Look me up.
great.
Anyway, that's
So anyway, in alphabetical order, and me not wanting to barge in because I'm the host, I guess I am last. So a few things. I don't want to bore everybody with my webcomic rhapsodies, but at the same time, I am just finishing this piece. I am just finishing this for a Patreon, of which I have about an hour's
Ooh,
left.
woo, whoa,
nice,
whoa, whoa.
nice, nice, nice. Nice use of color too,
Thank
not
you.
overdone.
Yeah, I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with these Sunday strips because I generally use them when I have a big story that doesn't fit in the regular comic strips schedule, and I'm pleased with them, but at the same time, you got to plan ahead because they are huge time dumps.
Oh yeah.
And generally the only way to make them not dominate and eat your weekly schedule is to schedule them so that you're just doing about 2 hours worth of them a day. And so otherwise I will show you. I've shown this before, but one of the projects I've been dealing with is an idea for a young adult's graphic novel, urban fantasy, that that I'm at the moment playing around with doing on Webtoons, where the working title is Cinder Girl.
Hmm.
And the premise of it is that it features a 12-year-old girl named Josie, and Josie is a girl of indeterminate origins who looks so unique that even that who is so unique that the only way to really describe her is colored. And it's as she slowly recovers from her amnesia, she slowly remembers that she is the cultural hero of a Paleolithic culture that is completely forgotten. It's so old, called the Cougar's Daughter, and
Cool.
who went to the land of the gods to steal fire, and returned and gave fire to her people. Everybody knows this story, but the thing is that on the way back, when she was running away, she took a wrong turn and found herself in the United States in the 1960s.
Oops.
And so what I am showing right now is it's kind of an experiment, a draft of what it's going to look, the prologue for the Webtoons. So to say, the girl had no idea how long she had been fallen.
Cool.
And I remember Bill here showing us the size of this panel. It's 4 inches wide by 60 inches tall.
Whoa. Whoa.
You can't do that on paper. You can only do that digitally if webcomics will let you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's going to be shrunk down to be read on an iPhone.
Whoa.
Hence the ridiculously large font.
Yeah.
And such. And so
That's
this
not
was
Comic
me
Sans, is it?
experimenting with the possibilities. I'm very tempted to have it have an even longer draft, but I'm worried about kids' attention spans.
I'm afraid all of our attention spans these days.
Yep. And so anyway, so this is her falling through space for what was essentially forever, because in the case of her story, bringing fire to her people, is there's a little bit more to it than cooking meat and keeping people warm. In her case, it's also stopping the ice age.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
Wait a minute, if she doesn't make it back, if she's gone into the sixth, oh, they're in trouble.
yeah. So anyway, here's
It goes away. It goes down and down and down and down.
and finally, I'm definitely coming. I need to come up with a better font for it. This is kind of the holding one, but and I don't believe I've put the. I have to. I'll show you the. And so anyway, I've been working on this for ages, and here's some of the. Darn, that's not going to show it, but there we go. So here's Josie in what is one of the climaxes of what technically is the third book, where one of the main themes. And this is the older version of the same thing I showed you back when I was planning on doing it in the graphic novel. And some of the character designs I've been doing, one of the things I'm trying to do is essentially doing what is one of my biggest problems with your average urban fantasy. And just to show it, this is what Josie looks like. Hence, where essentially nobody knows what she is. She's technically more Native American than anything else, but even the Native Americans have a question mark when they see her. And a very old picture of her.
Cool.
You know, this is going to sound odd, but her hair looks like it's been scorched.
Yeah, the idea is that, and then here's a picture of her story where she's beginning to remember everything. Where this is the scene where she is talking with the Council of Hunters and volunteering to go to find the fire. And this one was one that turned out so well that I have a version of it without the word balloons in my portfolio.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, makes a good picture.
And this is
Mhm.
one that I was doing as another concept one that I was doing to experiment with some new brushes, where she's meeting one of the primordial beings.
So her original form is a wildcat?
Well, a cougar cub or whatever would gradually evolve to a I'm calling it a cougar, but the time frame I'm working from, what I really mean when I say that is whatever a cougar evolved from. And one thing I've been playing around, one thing I love about a lot of transformation lore in native culture is it isn't really somebody transforming into something. A lot of the Raven stories and the Coyote stories isn't Raven turned into something and hid. It's simultaneously a story about a Raven, a guy named Raven, and anything in between. And they never actually say it's 1 minute Raven is running around with a friend picking things up, and the next minute Raven flies into a tree. There's never any actual transformation, and it's something I really enjoy in these stories. And so for the stories she's talking about, it's simultaneously a cute, fluffy cougar cub, but at the same time, we have scenes where she's talking about picking something up with her hands, and there's never seeing anything weird about it. And when she arrives in the 1960s setting, she's only a 12-year-old girl, and this kind of confuses her.
She's only a 12-year-old human.
Yeah, and so
A human cub.
yeah. And so here's one scene I've been having where one of the things I have as a theme is that when she arrives on Earth, as it were, she's very confused that the first time she sees somebody lighting a cigarette, it's going, wait a minute, how come everybody has fire when I know for a fact the only fire is the stuff I have in my satchel? And as the story goes on, we discover that what she has in her satchel is fire with a capital F, which is where a better way to describe it is, magical sapient napalm, which all other fire obeys. And this is what happens when she thinks she has it under control and is trying to feed it just a little bit of wood, and then it jumps out of the ring that she has and causes havoc. And
that's usually when you get, that's kind of like the Pandora's box version.
Very much so. And here's some of the, I'm sort of trying to come up with a mythology of the 60s, because as I said, one thing I don't like about a lot of urban fantasy is it puts everything in the kitchen sink. So I'm trying to limit myself to everything that's pretty much the 60s. So for example, I'm not having gray. I sort of, one conceit I've been playing around with is that aliens are just another kind of fairy, but at the same time, grays didn't become the default cliche alien until the mid 70s. So right now I'm going with something more closely based on the aliens from the Hopkinsville sighting in the 1960s. Otherwise known as the Hopkinsville goblins.
Remember the little green men from Lichty's strip?
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't go back that far.
Maybe not. At the moment, I'm sort of trying to choose what I use.
Can I say something about that? There was originally a news report about the quote little green men, but the green is a typo. It was supposed to be gray.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
And
it was a typo in the news report.
Then another one that I've been sort of been going through books and choosing what I like. So amongst other ones, one bit from a lot of California and Western mythology is the water babies, which are kind of a water spirit, and they're described as, there's a lot of variety of just how good or bad they are, but one thing it's described as their call sounds like a baby crying, and all of a sudden I'm having a image of, did any of you ever hear a frog screaming?
No.
No, I've never heard frog scream. No.
It sticks in you, and you'll find yourself letting the frog go immediately. Because you're praying the first time you've heard it is the last. And so this is one thing I've been.
Did you grab a frog?
You know how it is with kids. It's probably only 8 years old at the time, where you're playing with, where you think you're only playing with them, but let's be blunt, you're torturing it.
Yeah, you always have to remind kids that we are giants compared to other animals, smaller animals.
Here's another shot from the stories where. And so that's pretty much everything of that project.
And what you got, like you've got your yourself quite an original project here.
Mhm.
Yeah. But sorry, and one last what was, and just one last bit where I can show you the it always does this.
Oops. Oops, oops. Where did it go?
And just one last, sorry, one last detail for it.
Oh, that's a good filing system.
Yeah. But one last thing, here is my current attempt for the logo.
I like that.
That's cute.
Ooh,
Nice.
That is really much more like a cave painting.
mm-hmm.
It needs a little fine tuning, but I'm pretty happy with it.
Well,
Nice.
a lot. Well, right now you've got ochre. You're gonna have to get a little soot in there too,
Hmm.
because after all, she is fire.
Yes. But anyway, that is my presentation. Oh,
Good.
Yay. Very
Oh.
good. Looking forward to that coming out.
great. So anyway, if anybody else has any other things they want to show, we've got plenty of time. But otherwise,
Ugh.
Who is Bill's otter? There's this fellow down the corner. He's
It's-
muted.
Bill's otter.
it's the otter system. It's get to the point where it's on the cloud that I don't even have to turn on the app for it to do this.
That's an app.
Otter?
Yes, it's for it takes dictation and stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
It's very useful for meetings when you're the secretary.
I see.
I didn't know that.
Sort of a silent watcher,
Yes.
a transcriber,
That.
the recording angel.
Oh, Dan's chopping wood outside.
Well,
Okay.
anyway, if that's everything, just reminder that if you have something to put in the Best of the Northwest, by all means do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, thank you everybody for coming. And we will start, with any luck, have normal meetings on the third Saturday as we are supposed to, starting
Well,
next.
we almost did because we had a guy in Spain set up. He had time.
And it was my own fault for not realizing that.
Well, I should have been nooging you.
Yeah.
It is my job to nooge.
But anyway, again, thanks everybody for a great meeting.
Mhm.
And I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Great
Bye-bye.
meeting.